In the name of God, I am Kaman Kashi. I'm here with the eighth part of the International Transportation Training, Part D. In Part D, we will review land transportation plans and their types together. Stay with me. First and foremost, we will meticulously define land transportation plans and thoroughly review their various types together in detail. As its name suggests, a land transportation plan refers to a plan used for transporting goods by road. Now, depending on whether the goods are being moved between customs offices within a single country or between customs offices of different countries, this plan is divided into two categories: a domestic road transportation plan or an international road transport plan by truck. We will examine each of these in detail in the following slides. What exactly is a domestic road transportation plan? When goods are carefully transported by truck within the country, an official waybill is precisely issued for them, which is commonly called a domestic road waybill. As you can see in the figure, this waybill is printed by the government and, according to the regulations of the Road Maintenance and Transportation Organization, is provided to transportation companies and institutions. This waybill usually has 6 copies. The copies are explained as follows. One copy is for the recipient of the goods, which is usually the flavored copy. One copy is specifically for the Road Maintenance and Transportation Organization. One is for the driver, one is for the sender of the goods, and one is for the transportation company or institution. Usually, these comprehensive waybills inherently include robust insurance coverage for the transported goods, and if the declared value of the goods significantly exceeds a certain predetermined limit, it absolutely must be explicitly specified and additional. Appropriate coverage should be carefully considered. In the transportation of goods from one city to another, or from one customs office to another within a country, this waybill is always used, and you have certainly seen something similar in your own domestic transportation. The insurance I mentioned regarding these waybills is the liability insurance of the domestic transport company, and it should never be confused with the insurance of the goods themselves. This insurance has a limit, and as I said, if the value of the goods exceeds that limit, it is essential to coordinate with the transport company issuing the waybill so that additional coverage can be purchased for it. So this is transport liability insurance and has nothing to do with the insurance of the goods themselves. What information is included in a domestic road waybill? Some of it is general information, such as the waybill number and serial number, as well as the sender's and recipient's information, including the sender's full name and address and the recipient's full name and address. Driver information, which includes the full name, identification number, national ID, place of residence, driver's license number, and other detailed information about the driver. Even the information of the first and second drivers must be included if there is more than one driver. Truck information, which includes the vehicle license plate number, plate serial number, and place of registration, type of loading, manufacturer, and the smart card number of the transportation fleet. Cargo information, which actually refers to what has been loaded onto the vehicle, such as the commercial name of the shipment, its weight, type of packaging, number of packages, loading origin and unloading destination, and the financial details of the waybill, which is the total freight charge, the advance freight, the remaining freight, terminal fee, received commission, and paid insurance premium, which, if you have dealt with these types of waybills, you know that they involve specific calculations. A certain percentage is allocated for the terminal fee. A portion is for the commission, and the freight is usually not paid in full. A portion may be given to the driver up front. Another portion is paid at the end when the goods are delivered at the destination, or it may be paid entirely as postpaid freight, each with its own specific calculations. And in that red section, it is also written that the stamp and signature of the transport company must be included on the waybill, and it must also be signed by the driver and the recipient of the goods. What is an International Road Transport Waybill, or CMR? When goods are transported by truck between customs offices of different countries, a non-negotiable document is issued by international transport companies, which is called the CMR consignment note. In fact, this document is a type of delivery receipt that the road carrier company issues upon receiving the goods from the owner, essentially stating, "I am giving you this receipt, and I am responsible for transporting the goods I receive from you safely and intact to the destination." This document is specifically for road carriers and defines the scope of responsibilities for road transport operators, and it is subject to the regulations of the International CMR Convention. We will discuss the regulations of the CMR Convention in detail and comprehensively in a separate chapter. So here we have not a bill of lading, but actually a consignment note, which serves as a delivery receipt for the goods. The reason for its existence is as a transport contract, but it is non-negotiable and is not considered a document of title to the goods. The CMR consignment note is issued in several copies. The CMR consignment note is usually issued in 6 to 14 copies, of which only 3 are original copies that must be signed by the sender, the carrier, and the consignee. The remaining copies that are issued are all duplicates and are used for the customs authorities of the countries of entry and exit along the route. Of the 3 original CMR copies signed by the sender, carrier, and consignee, the first copy is handed over to the sender. The second copy accompanies the goods and, upon arrival at the destination, is signed for by the consignee and handed over to them, while the third copy is kept by the carrier company. So, in fact, the first copy is for the sender, the second for the consignee, and the third for the carrier company. What information is included in the CMR? The information included in the CMR is, to a large extent, very similar to the information found in a bill of lading. There are a few small differences between them. The full name and address of the sender of the goods and the name and address of the carrier, the name and address of the consignee of the goods, the date of issuance and the date of shipment of the goods, the date and place of loading at the origin, the date and place of delivery of the goods at the destination, the complete specifications of the goods, including their dimensions, the type and number of packages and the markings on them, the net and gross weight of the goods, and essential instructions for customs formalities, etc. This last item is one of the differences that the CMR has compared to the bill of lading. We didn't have such an item in the bill of lading, but in the CMR, a special box has been provided for this purpose. So if there are any specific instructions from the carrier, they are included in this section. All right, friends, thank you for your attention. We've reached the end of Part D of Section 8. We have thoroughly reviewed the different types of land waybills together and meticulously explained each one. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.